We are back with Dr. Patricee Douglas. Should I address you this evening?
You can call me Patricee, so you
All
can
right.
say Dr. Pat or Pat. That's okay with me.
Dr. Pat. I like the sound of that. Dr. Pat.
Yes,
Welcome to
please.
CWS as it is. Can you hear me clearly?
Please repeat.
I said welcome to CWS as it is.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me.
Dr. Pat, 26-year-old medical doctor, advocate for women's health. He's global shaper, founder of Sexual Reproductive Health and Rights Initiative, SRHR. SRHR won a grant under the Bill and Melinda Gates Institute for Population and Reproductive Health, project under the 120 under 40 initiative. And there was an initiative to raise awareness of sexual health and family planning, plans to establish a sexual health reproductive health clinic, works with community and religious institutions in advocating mental health. Wow, congratulations on all of this.
Thank you.
How do you typically describe yourself?
That's a good question. I really don't like to talk about myself, but for the purpose of this show,
Mhm.
Patrice is fun and loving. Our friends was a little bit crazy. Those who know me well, I have a crazy side, but I'm passionate about women's and girls' health and rights. And I really want to effect change when it comes to Guyana, when it comes to sexual and reproductive health and rights.
But before we get into SRHR, why did you get into medicine?
So that's a long story, but I'll try to make it short. So while I was in Form 3, I was actually watching a show where a doctor was helping women to regain their fertility. And there and then I was like, that is what I want to do. I want to make women smile. So it's like I'm going to go into science stream. And here I am as a doctor because of that story on television.
And then there is SRHR.
Yes.
What? This is an amazing initiative. Um, Sexual Reproductive Health and Rights Initiative. But what was the trigger? What got you interested in it? So much so that you decided to form your own in Guyana.
Well, that group was formed by three things. One, my love for women's and girls' health and rights. Two, a close friend's encouragement at the sidetrack. Thank God for good friends.
Hmm.
I'm doing what I'm doing because of good friends. I have a truckload of good friends. And lastly, because of multiple encounters with females who hadn't a clue how to prevent an unwanted pregnancy. That was the major trigger. Meeting people who wanted to prevent pregnancy but didn't know how to prevent it. So I knew I had work to do.
Wow. Was there a particular s- I'm getting a feedback. Do you have anything on that is watching the show where you are? Do you have it?
Actually, no, I don't have any television on. Well, me personally, no.
Okay, all right, fine. Um, what were some of when you first started? What were some of your earlier challenges?
So the first challenge that I encountered, it was an internal conflict. So since I'm religious, and I thought if I talk to young people about contraception, about safer sex, and maybe promoting premarital sex, but I overcame that quite quickly because I know that giving people information is quite important and you allow them to make informed decisions. I'm not encouraging people to have premarital sex. I'm giving them the info that they need to make informed decisions. So that was my earliest challenge.
So you had this hold on this I gotta try and see why I'm getting this echo. But you had this issue or challenge with religion versus what you believe is right to do.
Yes, I
Where did
do.
you find the courage to continue? Because I know how much of a hold and religion or religious beliefs have on us. But where did you get the determination to get past that and continue?
Because in an ideal world, young people would wait until they're married to have sex. But I'm a realist and I live in a real world and people are having sex. Even to those in the church are having sex. And the evidence is there. Pregnancy. So I was like, yes, premarital sex is the ideal thing, but the fact is people are having sex and I have a duty as a medical professional to provide information to allow people to make informed and wise decisions, for them to take responsibility of their actions.
How did you get others to buy into this idea?
How did I get?
Others to buy into this idea?
But I simply went about proclaiming my message boldly. I went to the church and I spoke about it. I went to youth groups and schools and I spoke about it.
And
I
your
mean, mhm.
and your friends? Um,
Oh, my friends are awesome. My friends don't have a problem. They go about promoting SRHR just the way I do. I
so
just shared my vision with them and they came on board. I have very supportive friends, I must say,
that
very encouraging.
that is amazing. That
Yes,
really
it
is
is. They
amazing.
are amazing.
That is. And so of the four fields of SRHR, you have the sexual health, sexual rights, you have reproductive health and reproductive rights. And I mean, which area, if not, if none at all, are you or is your primary focus?
That's a hard question. Actually, we focus on that entire SRHR field,
Hmm.
but we mostly focus on health.
On health.
Yes, the health aspect, sexual health and reproductive health. But we're highly interested in rights. People have a right to decide when they want to have sex, with whom they want to have sex, when they want children, whether they want children, how many they want. Those are their rights. Rights to access contraception.
Any
So
any any defining moments since you've started that you care to share with us?
definitely. I know while we were doing our HPV awareness campaign, that campaign reached a lot of persons. So, like, my inbox was filled with messages. People were asking me, where can I get the vaccine, doc? I'm over 13. Can I still get a vaccine? People were asking me questions. I have a little ulcer or wart at my genital parts. Maybe it's HPV or herpes. So, like, people just reaching out to me. That made me feel like, yes, the message is getting out there. People are actually receiving the message. And my work, our work as a team isn't in vain.
Did you see a large amount of cases of adolescent pregnancy or poor sexual health? What was your experience in that?
Well, that's a sad situation. The stats prove that we have an adolescent pregnancy problem. And if you should simply sit and observe how people are walking, you'll see how many teenagers are actually pregnant. And I have had first-hand experience with people who have became pregnant while they were teenagers or who are currently pregnant as teenagers. Because I volunteered women across different states, and they have a wonderful, comprehensive program for adolescent mothers. So I have first-hand experience
Hmm.
with persons who are victims of adolescent pregnancy.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's quite sad.
Hmm. And these findings, I mean, when you get these statistics, and do you share this with the government? How does that work, or is this just information that you use for within your own organization and so on? Do you share this with the government? Is there any kind of collaboration with the government on these issues?
Definitely. First of all, I must say that I'm a proud peer educator with the Ministry of Public Health. They
Mm-hmm.
have an adolescent health unit. That is where I began my voluntary work. So I'm still a peer educator, and oftentimes we get full support from the Ministry of Public Health. So we normally collaborate with them. So, for example, we did our HPV awareness campaign. It was in collaboration with the Ministry of Public Health. So we have full support from them.
Mm. How about funding?
Oh, well, funding. Currently, we are self-funded. I did win that grant from the Bill and the Melinda Gates Foundation. It was 1,000 US, and that helped to offset stuff and it helped with some expenses. But 1,000 US is not a lot of money. It may seem to be a lot. It's only about 200,000 Guyana dollars. So at present, our volunteers, they take money out of their pockets when we go on activities. So our activities are very low budget activities, nothing very fantastic, but it takes passion and commitment.
What are some of the activities you get involved in?
So what are some of our activities?
Mm-hmm.
So we go to churches, we go to youth groups, we go to schools, practically wherever we are invited, and we facilitate interactive sessions. We meet people where they're most comfortable. We never tell people to come to us, we always go to them.
Ah. I want to read a comment in the chat room. So Richard Singh says Melinda Gates funding. Wow, this is amazing. Why only now I am hearing about this because I never knew there were Melinda Gates recipients in Guyana. I would love to see her vision established in the in hinterlands regions, regions one, seven, 8, and 9. And
Definitely.
Denise Allen asked, I am not able to hear the whole conversation properly. Is there statistical data on HPV for Guyana available anywhere?
So this, okay. Let me address Mr. Singh's question first. So 120 under 40 is a family planning champion competition that began in the year 2016. So I was actually among the first winners for that competition. They select 40 persons who are under 40 from the entire world who are doing great work promoting family planning. And they offer them a grant of 1,000 US to continue their family planning work. So I was the only Guyanese, the only person from the Caribbean region last year to be a recipient of this award.
Congratulations.
Thank you. So stats concerning HPV. There's no specific stats about HPV in Guyana, but we have stats about cervical cancer. We know that cervical cancer is the second most common cancer in Guyana when it comes to females. Actually, I read an article the other day that says it actually has surpassed breast cancer. It's the number one killer of females when it comes to cancer. And we know that HPV is the leading cause of cervical cancer, type 16 and 18.
Dr. Pat, if people in the diaspora want to help, how can they help you? Where can they send their contributions?
So we have a Facebook page which is SRHR Adventures with Dr. Pat. Just type in SRHR Adventures and you can message us. We also have an email which is srhradventures@gmail.com, or you can contact Dr. Faquita Watson. She's the coordinator of the program.
Okay. Some have said that even though in the concept of SRHR, these four fields are treated as separate but inherently intertwined, the distinctions
Yeah.
aren't always made. So, why do you think people often mix them up? For instance, sexual and reproductive health.
Because they're so connected.
Hmm.
So sexual health has to do with your sexuality. It deals with it deals with sex, basically your sexual health, whether you're free from STIs, whether you have an enjoyable sex life. While reproductive health is the reproduction, to reproduce, to bring babies into the world. So in order for you to bring babies into the world, you have to have sex, right?
Of
So they're
course.
linked. While rights deals with a person's right to choose when they want children, right to have sex, right to say no if they don't want to have sex.
I, I know you I know you look at every aspect of the SRHR.
Well, we try to, we try.
Which
It's
one
big, it's vast.
which area really resonates with you? I I know it's an unfair question,
For
but
me, for me personally, I love reproductive health. For me personally,
mhm.
but we have been doing a lot of things surrounding sexual health. We deal with STIs such as HPV. When it comes to, we deal with cervical cancer, which is caused by an STI. We deal with family planning, which is an aspect of reproductive health and rights, actually.
Mhm. Where do you hope this organization goes? Or if you were to sit in front of me 5 years from now, what what would you like to be telling me about your accomplishments?
So I would like to say that we have contributed to the decrease in adolescent pregnancy in Guyana. We have contributed to an increase in women screening for cervical cancer, and that we have empowered women and men to take control of their sexual and reproductive health and rights. And ultimately, we want to open a sexual and reproductive health clinic that is very low cost, that women who can't afford will be able to access services there without stigma or discrimination.
An increase an increase in women screening for cervical cancer.
Yes.
What do you need to get the word out? I know there's social media and so on and so forth, but is there a campaign to get get the word out? Because this is a national health crisis, as far as I'm
Yes, it
concerned.
is. It is. Well, we have a campaign called hashtag Protect Your Cervix,
Hmm.
where we encourage females to get their cervix screen. Go get your pap smear done. And to say, oh, by the way, GRP has a deal this month, 50% off pap smears. Females, if you're 21 and over, please go get your cervix screened. You can't miss this opportunity.
What troubles you? What are your deepest concerns, your deepest fears about the the situation, the cervical cancer, the reproductive health, these situations in Guyana? What are your deepest fears about that?
So my fear is that women are going to die from a cancer that is one of the most preventable cancers.
Mhm.
And once it's caught early, it's treatable. That's my fear that this cancer can be prevented. This cancer can be cured if it's caught early. And women will die from something like that because they're not screening, they're not doing their pap smears.
I want to give you an hypothetical situation, which I hope can manifest. You're given, let's say, a few $100,000 US, right? You have access to that. What next?
What next?
Hmm.
We're going to launch into the other regions. Our work has been focused in Region 4. We're going to go into the interior because the women there, they need to hear this. They need to have these services. Definitely into the outskirts of Guyana. That's the first thing. Get a game plan, go into those regions, and to run up women and girls and talk to them and provide screening for them.
What keeps you going?
My passion, I'm quite passionate. My love, I love this field dearly, and family planning is my baby. And it keeps me up at night. I heard it saying once that your dreams keep you up at night. And I didn't understand it until now. I'm always thinking about what next, what can we do, how can we improve, how can we meet more people.
Sexual reproductive health advocacy. This almost seems redundant, but I'm going to ask this question again. Why is it so important?
Why is it important? Because the fact is, in order for one to be completely well,
Hmm.
their sexual and reproductive health must be intact. Because according to UNFPA, a state of well-being involves those things. And the fact is, many of the infectious diseases are sexually related. The STIs are all sexually related, and people are suffering because of lack of knowledge.
Well put, actually. Have you ever felt like quitting with all the challenges that might confront you? Have you ever felt like quitting? And I mean, what you said passion just now, but why you keep pushing against? I guess pushing against pushing the stone up the hill.
Well, I never really felt like quitting, but I did feel as though I need to keep this on a small scale. But Thank God for one great friend and other great friends too. For Quita Watson, she that's my backbone. She motivates me daily. And she was like, Pat, we have something good going here. We're going to create change. And she keeps propelling me, she keeps encouraging me. And also my passion drives me. And I have other good friends too. They know themselves. They're currently watching. Hi guys. My friends are the best.
I'm going to coin that phrase. We are going to create change. I like that. There's a Terrence in the chat room that said, "Hey, Dr. Pat, Terrence tuning in from Grenada. Great interview thus far, and continue to keep up the good work at SRHR in Guyana."
Actually, Terrence Isaacs is the person who actually motivated me to create the group. He was the friend that encouraged me. Hi,
Really?
Terrence.
Hi, Terrence. Thank you. Guyana, Guyana
Yes,
is
thank you, Terrence. Kind of thanks you.
Guyana thanks you. Yes.
Pushed me. Yes, he said, Pat, you have to do something. You have all of this knowledge. You have to do something to create change. Thank you,
What
Terrence.
is your overarching game plan for this initiative?
So the game plan is it's simple. We're not, as I said before, we're doing nothing fantastic. It's that we are going to do fun and interactive sessions to shatter taboos around SRHR. So we go to organizations and they're very low budget activities, nothing too expensive, just simply our bus fares and maybe money to buy a snack. And we use our voices that God blessed us with, and we disperse information.
So if you had the Minister of Health, the ear of the Minister of Health right now, what would you say to him?
The
Or to
Minister of
her, sorry.
Health,
Hmm.
I'll say, Minister Lawrence, please invest in sex and reproductive health. It's very important, and we need to put more monies into that area.
Hmm. What are the next steps for SRHR?
Oh, so our immediate steps. So in the near future, like next month, so on November 8th is World Vasectomy Day. So we're going to be promoting vasectomy and encouraging men who don't want any more children to get their vasectomies done. So we're going to be promoting that. And December 1st is World AIDS Day. And I believe the theme is health for all. So we're going to be doing an activity for December 1st to bring awareness to HIV/AIDS.
What would you say
And
to
next
those?
year we have big plans. I don't want to spill those big plans. Just
Okay,
watch out for
okay,
us. We're coming strong.
fair enough. What do you say to those or to men who would protest against a vasectomy and perhaps suggest the proliferation of condom use? Why a vasectomy? Why something? Is it, first of all, let me ask you, I'm not a doctor or anything, but is it reversible?
It is. It actually is reversible. However, before you decide to have a vasectomy, you should be quite sure that you don't want any more children. You see, many times men don't want vasectomies because they have these misconceptions. One, it decreases your sex drive or it doesn't allow you to perform as you used to before. That's not true. You're still a man after vasectomy. You can still have a wonderful sex after vasectomy. It doesn't affect your sexual performance, and you can have sex without wondering about having babies. So it makes sex even more fun. So I think.
uh, in Guyana, how is this actually received generally? In what you're doing, your initiative, how is it generally received? Apart from the church,
It has been getting good reviews, I must say. People have been reaching out to us and said that we're doing commendable work. I haven't had any negative feedback thus far. I
mhm.
mean, people may be talking in their rooms and in their homes, but nobody yet came up to me to say, Pat, you're not doing a good job. And we have been given pointers on how to improve. But generally, people are saying we're doing good work.
So, what does success look like to you? What are some of your expectations?
So my expectations for SRHR Adventures is that we are going to create meaningful and measurable impact. That we're going to move Guyana forwards through community development from a grassroots upwards.
Why are you confident?
Pardon me?
Why are you confident this is going to work?
Because I have the passion, my entire team is passionate. Fukwita Watson, she has she has backbone and she has what it takes to push this organization forward along with myself. I have my support network and we're
Thank,
going to make this happen because we're passionate about it.
thank you so much for joining us on CWS as it is. And
Thank you for
keep
having
up the good
me.
work. Guyana is fortunate to have you.